for for being with us this evening. Um, can you hear me? Okay, is everything okay?
Everything is okay. I can hear you just fine.
Okay. So Julian Assange, founder of WikiLeaks, who is at the moment in London, you all know that he's staying in the Embassy of Ecuador, and we are very pleased to have you with us, sir, and very pleased to have you during this panel.
Thank you.
Jovan Kobalia, qui est ici à Genève,
Jovan Kobalia, who's in Geneva and actually director of a Diplo Foundation, but I said working on the surveillance of internet, and he works at observing what is happening in this field for the international organizations. As regards international organizations in Geneva. And Olivier Chopin, so lecturer and author of a book to be published soon on U.S. espionage across the world, and his knowledge about espionage will be very interesting because if behind the collection of data there are military, economic stakes and.
In London. With a very simple question, we had the chance, I don't know if you had the chance to watch the documentary movie as we just did.
I have not so far. I am familiar with the work of the two SVT journalists. I understand there's another director now involved, and the publications that came out of SVT we were involved in putting them together with Ben Greenwald in the first place.
Exactly, that's correct. So the documentary was focusing on Sweden and the NSA, so the link between the Swedish intelligence agency and the NSA. My question to you, sir, very simple, and that will be the same question for the other panelists to start. Is the situation, I'm talking about cyber surveillance, is it getting better in the sense, are we getting more freedom? Do you think that the situation will get better, or is it getting worse, meaning that despite what they say officially, the US and other governments are even spying more on us through electronic devices?
What has happened in the past 20 years with mass surveillance is a change of state for civilization that has only one equivalent historical analog, which is the invention of atomic weapons. The type of surveillance being conducted, mass surveillance across entire populations who pushed their societies onto the internet and merged their societies with the internet, is a serious change to the nature of civilization. In the technical discussions inside spy agencies and the military contractors that produce the equipment to run everything that's occurring, it is called strategic interception, not spying, not interception of people, but strategic interception, intercepting whole nations. The telecommunications flows between whole continents, between Africa and Europe, between South America and Europe, in and out of the United States, across regions. This is a new kind of great game, like the great games played for oil pipelines in strategic regions, to control the informational pipelines that connect societies and economies across the world. So you ask whether it is getting better or whether it's getting worse. Well, before I speak about this sort of Anna Mirabilis, this year of revelations and repercussions, let's look at the general tendency. The ability to surveil people is based predominantly on the expense of computer storage and the expense of bulk communications. Computer storage is decreasing 50% every 18 months. The amount you can communicate through a fiber optic cable is decreasing by about the same. The increase in the human population is rather small. It's doubling time is about 40 years. So we are in a situation now where nearly the entire productive component of the human population is being surveilled in its major economic interactions, its major political interactions, as individuals and as government departments and organizations. That surveillance is being conducted almost entirely by one geopolitical bloc, and that is the extended US alliance. That's NATO, which accounts for 75% of military and intelligence expenditure, and allied countries like Australia, New Zealand, Israel, and so on, accounting for almost 85% of global arms and intelligence expenditure. So that enhances tremendously the geographic reach, strategic depth, and power of the dominant factions within that bloc. And there's no reason to presume that the acceleration in computer technology won't cause that bloc to suck up ever more information and to accumulate other countries into it. So we're in a very serious situation. Of course, these revelations are very important. Those who've been working on this issue for a long time understand sort of the picture. Now it's become, partly through the combat, partly through the detail, apparent to many people the severity of what is going on. That's a positive sign. Just like in the case of nuclear weapons, I do not believe there's going to be any self-disarming. The United States, the UK, France did not voluntarily disarm their nuclear weapons complexes after the Cold War, and those are weapon systems which everyone can see, can kill people immediately. It's immediately visually apparent. These costs are not decreasing. In the United States, we have, in this case, a strategic weapon which is invisible, global, decreasing in cost something like 50% every 18 months to 2 years, and powerful. So I cannot see any chance of voluntary disarmament, even as a result of political pressure. The technology will spread. The resulting politicization and conflict which is coming about, however, is producing another interesting phenomena, and the same basic technical phenomena which is driving this whole phenomenon of decreasing cost of communications, producing this communication we're having right now, is also producing a new consensus on human rights, on privacy, a new international body politic, which perhaps in some ways can be a countervailing force together with a new market for cryptography and privacy protecting technologies that individuals, governments, and corporations feel that they are now compelled to pursue.
Thank you, sir.